Traveling Pills.
We went up, and if you have watched our last episode, you know that we
were up in Sleepy Hollow, Tarrytown. I
Yes.
just almost said Sleepy Town, Terry
Terry
Hollow.
I saw that happening, and I was like, "Do it, say it."
We were in Sleepy Hollow, Tarrytown, Irvington, area.
Upstate New York-ish, Hudson Valley. Yes.
And we attempted to go to the Washington Irving, the Sunnyside estate.
Yes.
And by attempted, I mean we did get there.
Yes.
We parked, we got out.
Yeah. We wandered the grounds.
We wandered the grounds, but sadly we did not get inside the house.
Yeah.
But we still have lots to say.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And the grounds were beautiful.
The grounds were beautiful.
The view of the Hudson, gorgeous.
Yeah, really
my favorite
pretty.
word, gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah, really pretty.
the staff was friendly.
Yeah, cute little gift shop. We saw the gift shop.
Cute gift shop. Cute gift shop.
Yeah, everyone was nice. It was even crowded in there. That was like another. I think they were doing like a big walking tour.
Yeah, there was a walking
there.
tour and a scavenger hunt, and that's why we saw the grounds and did not get into the house today.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
So I want to go back so that we can get into the house.
Yeah, the weekend of before Halloween.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Or be prepared to
know that you're not
getting far.
Or
no. Moving anywhere quickly.
No.
You're going to be waiting in lots of lines. So give yourself lots of time.
Lots of time. But even though we didn't get inside the house, we have plenty of things to talk about. So
yeah. I have a little, I pulled a little quote. So I found a little quote from the Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
That I think just kind of sets the tone.
Let's go.
All right. Certain it is, the place still continues under the sway of some witching power that holds a spell over the minds of the good people, causing them to walk in a continual reverie. They are given to all kinds of marvelous beliefs, are subject to trances and visions, and frequently see strange sights and hear music and voices in the air.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
I like that.
A little spooky, a little...
Yeah.
Also, I think it kind of describes the town.
Just that's what I was picturing.
Mindless reverie,
yes.
Hearing
organized
music.
chaos.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Music just playing through the air.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was really good. It's amazing because Washington Irving, obviously he traveled a lot.
Right.
And he was also one of America's first novelists and first ghost story with The Legends of Sleepy Hollow.
Right.
A writer beyond his time, it's just crazy the work he's done, and it still stands true. I mean, how many movies or mini TV shows or whatever is there for Sleepy Hollow?
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about the Disney one.
Oh, yeah, actually I have, okay, wait, I have another thing.
Oh, okay.
So, and also we should just know this now in case we're talking about Ichabod Crane.
Right.
Who's the lead character in Sleepy Hollow.
He's the lead character. I always think of the Disney, even though I love the Johnny Depp.
Yes.
I always picture that cartoon, tall, lanky, skinny school teacher.
Yes.
From going to Sleepy Hollow.
Which actually, oh wait, I hit the wrong button. Which actually, there's another great. Okay, wait, I have to read this now too because you said tall and lanky. Just the beginning of this line. He was tall but exceedingly lank, with narrow shoulders, long arms and legs, hands that dangled a mile out of his sleeves, feet that might have served for shovels, and his whole frame most loosely hung together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I, just perfectly picture the little cartoon of Ichabod Crane from Disney, which is probably my favorite. Again, I love the Johnny Depp one and Christina Ricci, but... I mean, who doesn't love a good Sleepy Hollow?
Right.
Or a headless horseman.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's like a quintessential cult favorite Halloween movie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, Disney hit the nail on that one.
Yeah. Which, okay, here, I'll read real quick, from the Disney story. Ichabod Crane is the main protagonist of Washington Irving's story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. He appears in said segment of the 1949 film, The Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. He's a superstitious schoolteacher who has a big appetite for life. At the end of the short, Ichabod disappears after the headless horseman throws his pumpkin head at him. And the best little fun fact, he was voiced by the late Bing Crosby.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to watch this later.
I know.
I can hear this because,
I know, I can't picture it in my head.
Picture it in my head. All I see is Disney's Ichabod Crane. That is a fun little fact.
Right?
I'm going to have to go back to my sisters and be like, guys, guess what?
Guess what?
Guess what? Because we all love White Christmas.
Oh, my gosh.
Love White Christmas. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite holiday movie for
Poor
sure.
Tim. It is not his favorite.
Oh.
But
How do you not like White Christmas?
Well, he doesn't dislike White Christmas. His favorite is A Christmas Story, which
I love that too. That's also another fun one.
But he doesn't need to watch it 20 times.
Fair. Yeah.
Where I need it playing constantly.
Yeah.
The minute we have a rule in our family that when it snows, if it's not yet December 1st, you can start watching White Christmas.
I love that.
He's not a fan of this rule, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He lets me watch it. He proposed to me while we were watching it on Christmas Day because he knows it was my favorite. And it was like that scene too where they're announcing their engagement.
Oh, yes.
And so they're at the piano, they're like da-da-da, and he got down on one knee and I'm like, what are you doing? So, now he likes it a little bit more because of that memory.
Yes.
But Christmas Story is his favorite. Which, did you see I don't think it came out last year. I think it came out 2 years ago. But the new sequel to A Christmas Story?
No.
With the original cast.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, because I love A Christmas Story.
It's so good. It's so good.
Because Christmas Story plays for 24 hours on Christmas Day, and I just have it running.
We just have it on. You need to watch it. It's an HBO made for movie.
Okay.
It has the original cast in it.
Oh, I love that.
Unfortunately not the father because he's passed, but they pay homage.
Oh.
And just the ending makes me cry. Absolutely watch it this year.
Okay.
If you don't have access to HBO, you know people.
Yep.
But you know what else is good? And I'm gone off on a Christmas tangent, but it is December, so it's allowed.
Yeah.
Oh God. Sorry, I'm looking this up because I can't remember the name. It's Neil Patrick Harris, and it's like A Christmas Story, but it's him with his, in this character, Neil Patrick Harris. It's called 8-Bit.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's on HBO also, to be honest with you.
I have HBO, so we're good.
And I love Neil Patrick Harris, but he, it's basically him talking to his daughter, and it's about him as a kid in the 80s and wanting an 8-bit video game system.
I saw the beginning of this.
It is really good.
Okay, I'll have to watch.
Pays absolute homage to A Christmas Story.
Okay.
But millennial.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm excited to see that
So you need to watch that too this holiday season.
Okay.
And if you out there have not seen it, watch it. But yeah, total tangent there. But we were talking about Sleepy Hollow, so it really wasn't. It really, really wasn't.
Not that far off.
It's not completely fall off. And not to mention, and we should cover this sometime, but Christmas, especially Victorian Christmas, was based on ghost tales and ghost stories.
Yeah.
And those who had passed on. So really...
Yeah,
we're not that far off here.
No. I have a book in my Amazon cart that's all Christmas ghost stories.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, we are talking about, as we were saying, Washington Irving Sunnyside.
Yes.
And I'm going to read this little blurb. And as always, we always post the references. So feel free to take a look because we're not historians. Nestled along the banks of the Hudson River, the landscape of Washington Irving's much-loved Sunnyside has been charming guests for generations. Visitors today hear about Washington Irving's storied past and how he came to be America's first internationally famous author. His characters, from the Headless Horseman to Rip Van Winkle, are global icons, and Irving's legacies live on at his whimsical estate. And I can say, from what we were able to see, the grounds are gorgeous. The landscape is beautiful. It is whimsical.
Yes.
Absolutely. And there's some history behind this beautiful estate.
Ooh.
So the house itself was originally built and people lived in. Dutch immigrant Wolfert Acker.
Okay.
And it was originally like this modest, like small, like 2-bedroom house. It was not what it is today.
Okay.
And it was situated on the Hudson River in a small hollow in the land on a cove. And like you can clearly see that because we had to like walk down into the hollow. And so pretty.
Yeah.
And so it goes on to say that locals say that Acker farmhouse was erected sometime between the middle and the end of the 17th century, so the 1600s.
Oh, okay.
And although no one could truly say for sure, as far as they know, it has always been there. Okay. So this house was there. The Van Tassel family married the Acker family. So that is where Katrina Van Tassel, the character from Sleepy Hollow, comes into play.
Okay.
So she was a real person.
Right.
Even though the story is a ghost story and it's not real. She was a real person, and it was this house, Sunnyside.
Oh.
The Van Tassel family married into the Acker family, took up residence in the cottage, and lived there until the very early 19th century, so the early 1800s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was this family that a young Washington Irving was introduced to the first time he explored the hills and valleys of Sleepy Hollow. Oh my goodness, what's new? Valleys of Sleepy Hollow country as a lad of 15. So he first saw this house at 15.
Wow.
And it was at the time the Tassel family. The Van Tassel family. He wouldn't return for another 30 years. But that stone farmhouse and its idyllic location never left his mind. This stayed in his mind his childhood into adulthood.
Yeah.
Like stood out. It said Irving spent most of it, if not all of his adult life, traveling, starting in about 1809. But the time he had returned from a decade-long visit to England in 1832, he was yearning to settle down.
Oh.
So after his return, Irving went to visit his brother Ebenezer in Tarrytown, and that quaint Van Tassel farmhouse was suddenly a shining beacon in his mind.
Aww.
In 1835, Washington Irving bought the 2-room, it wasn't even a 2-bedroom, it was a 2-room.
Oh, wow.
Dutch stone house on the banks of the Hudson.
Oh. Also, great location.
Yeah, and like let's talk about like all the stuff he like put into this house, because it is not a 2-room farmhouse anymore.
No.
Not at all. He expanded and extensively remodeled the building, adding Tudor-style clustered chimneys, Dutch steeped gables, Gothic windows, and a Spanish tower.
Oh, wow.
Right? He wrote to his brother Peter, "It is a beautiful spot capable of being made a little paradise. There is a small stone Dutch cottage on it, built about a century since. I have had an architect up there and shall build upon the old mansion. My idea is to make a little nookery somewhat in the Dutch style, quaint but unpretending. Oh my goodness. It will be of stone. The cost will not be much. I do not intend to set up any establishment there, but to put some simple furniture in it, keep it as a nest to which I can resort when in the mood."
Oh.
So it's very sweet. Like,
yeah.
There's actually a book of, I think it's a book. I could be misquoting this, but I'm pretty sure there is a book of his letters that he would write to his brothers.
Oh, okay.
And so there's other like quotes out there of things that he's written about the estate.
Oh, cool.
To his brothers, which is really cool. Irving would spend most of his later years at Sunnyside venturing to town, Manhattan.
Oh.
So that was venturing to town.
Venturing to town.
Yeah. And other places, but not as regular as he used to. Preferring to idle his hours writing, although not with as much frequency as he would. Socializing with his nieces, and encouraging his friends from afar to drop in and visit with him. Irving was content and rural old bachelor. Which I think is just kind of like
so
cute. And the
Just
fact that he's had such a good relationship with his nieces.
Yeah.
And it's just so cute. He passed away November 28th, 1859.
Okay.
And he is buried in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, which, again, we attempted
to see.
Was not the weekend to do.
No, he's pretty roped off on Halloween.
I would like to eventually try to get in there so we can see him. But yeah, don't do it the weekend before Halloween. You won't see his grave. The property would remain in the Irving family. A relative who owned the property. I was talking to you about this earlier today. A relative who owned the property in 1890 added a wing to the house. However, it was removed later so that it would resemble the original structure that he created.
Right. So it went, okay.
Yeah, so even though it was put on by a Irving family relative, they still removed it because they wanted what his design was for this house. In 1940, John D. Rockefeller acquired the estate and turned it into a museum.
Oh.
And then this is about the remodeling and taking that down. Today it stands as it did in Irving's time, including interior furnishings, decor, and personal possessions of him.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So that's like a history of Sunnyside. You can just tell, especially like the letter to his brother, and there were other letters I read, how much he loved this house.
Yeah.
Like he traveled the world.
Yeah.
He went to Scotland, he went to Germany, he went to Ireland, he went all over Europe, he traveled the world, but this was like where he went at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Loved this. I mean, think about it even, like this house stood out in his mind.
Since he was 15.
Since he was 15, and it was a 2-room Dutch farmhouse back then, and not what it is today.
No.
But he just saw between the house and the landscape and the location, and it just sung to him. And you know, it's so silly because he, you know, says to his brother, "Oh, it's not much. It's not going to cost much. I'll just go there on occasion."
Yeah.
And like he clearly spent the later years of his life.
Yeah.
In this house.
Yeah.
Like he loved this house. So with that being said, there are some known ghosts.
Ooh, okay.
It's not a lot, but it's a little, but it does kind of tie back to the fact that you can tell how much he loved this house. Mm-hmm. So it's been known that you will hear singing and talking.
Okay.
Never in the room you're in. It's always in like the next room over.
Right.
And if you go there, it suddenly stops.
Gone. Okay.
His nieces will tidy up around him. They, you know, like they used to. They'll go around and tidy up. So you might have had like paper out or something, and it'll be neatly stacked.
Oh my gosh, that's
which I'm
cute.
like is so sweet.
Yeah.
You'll hear laughter throughout the house.
Oh.
Which I'm like, that's just so like I said, you can tell how much this house was loved.
Yeah.
And he's been seen writing at his desk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says Irving made his home at Sunnyside in Tarrytown. Some people claim that to this day he still resides in this beautiful mansion. There are reports that Irving spirits walks the halls and rooms of Sunnyside, and that periodically favors the tower known as Pagoda. It seems to be poetic justice that the man most known for his ghost stories would pass on and create one of his own.
Aw, I love that.
Right?
That's so cool.
So that is the Sunnyside and a little bit of Washington Irving.
I love that.
And he still is hanging around.
He's just hanging around, writing his
right?
stories.
And like you just can tell like he loved that house.
Yeah, he's just
so
content
much.
Still being there.
And clearly like his nieces liked visiting because you could hear them laughing and cleaning up after him.
Yeah, it sounds like that's like not a haunted house that's like just
A loved.
of loved and
I'm sure some of it too, probably because of how much is loved, is like an echo.
yeah, I was gonna say those
Because you know
probably a
when
lot
you
of
have
echoes.
like whether it's a traumatic event or just so much energy of like of love and joy, you'll get those echoes
yeah,
too.
exactly.
So it could be a little bit of a intellectual haunting. It could be an echo.
Yeah.
But I
or
just
he
love
could
hearing
still
that
be
he's
haunting it himself, but in just like a happy, like
yeah.
I love this.
I'm
is
never
my,
leaving. This
yeah,
is my home.
This is my home.
And I just love the idea of him sitting at his desk writing.
Right?
Like
just
still
just in
his
the
next
spot.
masterpiece.
Yeah, just in that spot.
His
I love
next
that.
Ichabod Crane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Washington Irving and Sunnyside.
Love it.
I will get into the house at some point.
Yes,
We
it's
both
gonna happen.
will. But I love that story.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's just a great story.
Yeah.
So. With always, we are the traveling ghouls.
So hitchhiking ghosts beware.
Till next time.